Hello everyone. We are continuing with the chapter of ecosystem. In the previous sessions, you have studied about the different types of interdependence between biotic and abiotic components. In this session, children, we are going to study about the interdependence between different organisms. As you all know, children, in this ecosystem, organisms, they depend on each other for their food. So, there is a relationship among these organisms. And today in this session, we are going to study about the different relationship between the different types of organisms. Relations between the organisms of same species is called intraspecific relationship. When there is a relationship between the organisms of same species, the relationship is known as intraspecific relationship. For example, lion and tiger, both of them, they belong to the same species and they compete for their food. So this relationship is known as the intraspecific relationship. When two or more different species depend on each other, it is called interspecific relationship. When there is a relationship between the organisms of two species, that relationship is known as interspecific relationship. For example, polar bear belongs to one species and reindeer, it belongs to other species. So their relationship is known as interspecific relationship. Interspecific relationship may be positive or negative. When one species help another species, or when one or both the species are benefited, the interaction is called positive. So when in the interaction between the organisms, when the organisms are helping each other or when the organisms are benefited from each other, their interaction is positive. For example, commensalism and symbiosis are examples of positive interaction. On the other hand, when members of one population compete for food and depend on others are called negative interaction. When there is a competition among the animals for their food, that interaction is negative. For example, competition, predation, and parasitism. Commensalism. It is an association between two organisms in which one is always benefited but the other is neither benefited nor harmed. See, in this relationship, the species, or we can say that two organisms, one is always benefited, the other is neither benefited nor it is harmed. For example, epiphytes are plants that grow on the tree trunks, but they do not depend on the host for nourishment. They prepare their own food. So they are benefited. They are growing on the tree trunks. But they are not taking any nourishment from the tree trunks. In this way, they are not going to harm the trees. Protocorporation. It is an interaction between two different species which is favorable but no obligatory to both. See, in this protocorporation, organisms, different species, they are, it is not compulsory for them. They are favorable, but it is not compulsory that they should benefit other. For example, egrets are birds with long legs and beaks, which are often seen in the fields among the grazing cattle. These egrets, they pick up the ticks from the cattle's skin, which may transmit diseases in the cattle. These egrets, they get some nourishment from the ticks. Symbiosis. It is an interaction between two species in which both are benefited. In symbiosis relationship, both the organisms are benefited. For example, nitrogen fixing bacteria. Rhizobium is a nitrogen fixing bacteria and they are found in the root nodules of leguminous plants. These bacteria, they directly take nitrogen from the atmosphere and convert it into nitrates. These nitrates, they enrich the soil. In this way, these bacteria help the plants. In return, the root nodules, they provide shelter to this bacteria. So, such a relationship in which both the organisms are benefited, this relationship is known as symbiosis. Predation. Predation is a kind of direct food relationship between two species of animals in which one is called the predator. So children, the relationship in which one organism kills and eat another organism is called predation. One is killing and eating other organism and this relationship is called predation. The organism that kills is called predator and while the one eaten is called the prey. For example, the relationship between lion and rabbit or fox. Lion is the predator and rabbit or fox are its prey. So this relationship is known as predation. Scavenging. Scavengers play a very important role in ecosystem as they clean the environment. Scavengers are also known as environment cleaners. These scavengers, they eat the dead and decay bodies of other animals. For example, you have seen children, this crows and eagles eating the dead bodies which are often found lying on the roads. Parasitism. A typical parasite lives inside the host. Parasitism is an interaction between two species in which one obtains its food from the host body. Parasites, they take their nourishment from the host. They totally depend on the host. For example, louse, bedbugs, they are the examples of parasites. Louse are often found on the human hair and they take their nourishment by sucking the blood. So they are totally dependent on the host. This interaction or this relationship is known as parasitism. So children, here we end our chapter of ecosystem. Assignment will be given to you. Write down the assignment in your copies and learn all the definitions and prepare it at home. Thank you.